Hi, everybody. It's Diane Neto living in Barrie, and today I want to talk a little bit about curb appeal because I think a lot of people overdo it or think they have to do a lot more than they have to and put a lot more money than they have to. And the other thing is, it does matter. So, I'll talk to people and I'll go to a house and, there's little things they could do outside like painting their garage door and their front door to match. And, I always do stuff that appeals to the most amount of people. So, like, I don't suggest orange, I don't suggest red, only because there is a certain population or group in our population that might not like that. So I always say go like with a slate, a black, um, you can even do a blue, maybe like a dark navy color, something that will accent the house without being too bold. Because if you're about to sell, you're trying to appeal to the most amount of people. So even when I'm painting or I flipped a couple houses years ago, I always try to pick things that the most amount of people are going to like. It might not be what I would pick if I was going to live there, but if you're selling it, you're trying to appeal to the masses, right? To the most people. So you kind of don't want to do something too bold and crazy, and people are kind of turned off by it. Pictures sell houses. People go online, they go on realtor.ca, they look at the pictures. If they like that, they make an appointment, they look at the house. So if they look at the picture and is immediately turned off by that picture, it can be very detrimental to you selling. So I have a very good before and after picture that kind of explains what I'm saying, that you don't have to put a big ton of money. So here they went from, I think we can all agree that that looks kind of old, dated, there's nothing appealing there. Here, what they did was, now this was a little bit more, they put a portico here where the door is, which I've had some people do, and it makes a huge difference. If you have a totally flat house, it can be very, very, well, it's not inviting. So adding one of these little roof things can change the whole house. But the biggest thing I wanted to show you was the removal of all these bushes that were unkept and getting rid of them and doing a nice little bush, like keeping a clean line. The other thing was they painted the outside of the house. So you don't necessarily have to put on brand new siding or brand new brick or put siding on top of brick. I painted 2 or 3 houses like a darker gray color, and it looked gorgeous after. Because with the white trim and stuff around the windows. So this is like a total redo just by a little bit of paint, which if you're handy at all, you can paint it yourself. There's special exterior paint you use, and then like the really thick, like the very, very spongy roller. But it's a doable thing, and it changes the whole look of the house pretty quick. I was looking through some other before and afters, and a lot of them are very extreme, right? And even this one, all they did here was they changed the colors. They painted the front door blue. They got rid of this big bush in front of the house so you could see the door. And they painted the outside. Now, you don't necessarily have to paint the outside if the color, is a decent color. But even just cleaning up all the brush and changing the front door color, even that was a big difference, right? And, like I said, the appearance matters, because if somebody comes in and thinks, oh my gosh, I got to redo all this and it looks old, it looks dated, it can change everything. Now in Barrie right now, there's a lot of people who are painting the brick. So this one, they painted the brick and they went from, you know, the old brown style, and they did it white with accenting trim. Didn't even change. I think the door is basically the same, but total difference, right? Like it's looks like a total different house. So there are a lot of things. Let's see what these guys did before and after. So same thing. A lot of people are doing the white now. They added a garden. And all they did in this one is basically just painted the whole thing white and added a garden. So the curb appeal does matter because you want people to feel welcome and at home, and you don't want it to look like it's run down and dated. So just cleaning up the yards. This again, they just did some exterior paint and cleaned up the garden. So you're not necessarily putting in thousands and thousands of dollars, even in the backyard. If you have a pool and an oasis and a big fire pit and everything, you do often, you know, get more money if you have a whole outdoor oasis, right? Like the hot tub and the pool and the deck, and it is definitely a selling feature. Well, not everybody wants a pool, but even if it's just clean and nice and you don't have overgrown gardens, your deck looks like it's been, you know, kept up, it's clean. Like I've shown houses where the deck, the boards are actually rotten, and like your foot goes through it, and they have warning signs and they have plywood. Like even if they would have just changed out 4 or 5 boards and stained the bottom. Now anybody, and I like, no matter how old you are, unless you have a physical disability, can get a roller and roll on the bottom of a deck, right? Like it's not a hard thing to do. And that brings, you know, it changes everything. Paint changes everything. So does curb appeal matter? It does. Do you have to go really overboard? Like if you're selling, no. Just make it clean, make it inviting, paint the front door and the garage doors, clean them up. And I would suggest like a darker color, because you know, white gets dirty, right? And it looks dirty. And if you have kids and everybody's running in and out of the door, you know, even during your showings, it'll get dirty before you even sell the house. So a darker color wears better, and it is also richer. Darker colors are richer. So don't do anything crazy though. Like I have purple ones in my neighborhood. I have lime green ones. I have yellow ones. Like, don't be doing that, because like I said, for a lot of people, that's a turn off, right? They're going to look at the pictures and like, So, and I know paint shouldn't matter, but it does. I find yellow is a hard sell for people. Like if the living room or the kitchen is yellow and oranges, it's a really hard sell. I don't know why, because you go in there and I got, you know, you don't feel the warmth, or I don't know what it is, but I've had a lot of people that had yellow kitchens or orange dining rooms change just the color in that room, and it wasn't selling. We changed the color and it sold right away. And that's happened like 3 or 4 times. It gives somebody a different feel when they walk in. And I think psychologically the colors like red and yellow, they don't calm us, right? So pick colors that are muted and calming to people. When they want to walk in, they want to feel good, and they want to feel like they could live here. So I hope this helped, because I do get a lot of questions from people. Come over and what should I do? What should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I always say, if you're selling, like, unless you're doing a full renovation on the house, yeah, try to put in the least amount of money as possible. And it's not going to be a deal breaker if you don't have an extra bush outside or a beautiful tree. That's not a deal breaker. Can you put a planter out front with a nice flower in it? Great. But to do like huge gardens, No. Put a bit of mulch, get rid of a couple strangly bushes. Yes. I hope this helps. If you like my stuff, hit the like, hit the subscribe, or drop me a comment if there's something you'd like me to cover for you.